All right, so let's go ahead and start off with this. This is called coin clipping, and that's why America is still in that image of Rome. America is the revised Roman Empire, man. They deal with the eagle as their symbol. You know, they got the same statue, mindset of Rome, man. Go ahead, brother. So this is called coin clipping, man. This is something they did that they thought would get them over in those wars at that time, but it didn't happen when it was called a republic. But when they killed Valerian, what was it called? What was that called? The Parthians, which were the Persians. The Persians, they killed Valerian, which was the Edomite. You can look up, there's an image of him with with the Persians. They made him into a footstool. Alright, and when that happened, they killed another Roman emperor named Gaius. When they killed them two, later on, that's when Diocletian stepped up. And he the one that said, yo, I'm gonna fix all of this shit. Y'all in hyperinflation right now. Y'all debased the currency to the moon. And now, let's go ahead and create something called the Eastern and Western leg of Rome. And you know what? Let's set up generals in each of those areas so I ain't got to run back and forth and fight on both fronts. Let's set me up, Diocletian in the east, and let's set up Maximius in the west. And under him, you cannot set up. You got to promise that if you become emperor, you got to give up your seat after 2 years. You got to retire. And I'm going to retire too. And we're going to leave it to some generals. Because that was called the time of the soldier emperors. And that's when you had them, Maximius and Diocletian, they could not pick their children. They had to go pick their first generals that were in line. And Diocletian, he chose Galerius, and Maximius, he chose Constantine Chlorus. All right, Constantine Chlorus. And Constantine Chlorus is the father of Constantine the Great. That's where you get Constantine from. Now, when it came time to choose, after they retired and you had Constantine Chlorus and Galerius in place, it came time for them to choose who's going to rule after them. You had Constantine, his son, and you had somebody else. But they didn't choose their son. They chose one of their generals, two generals. And that's what started the civil wars. The soldiers did not want to serve up under these two generals. They wanted to serve up under Constantine or this other guy. And that's when the war broke out between Constantine and the other guy. And all the soldiers, they went and served Constantine. And then in 512 BC AD, Constantine went to war with the west coast of the empire, and he won that. And then in 515, he won the eastern coast of the empire and called it the Byzantine Empire. And then after that, you have what you call 325, where you have the first of the ecumenical councils. What's it called? The Council of Nicaea. All right, so that's all you up to Constantine. That's how you get that. That's where it happens. But it was triggered from what you call hyperinflation that started in 235 AD. And it started with this right here. Go ahead, brother. There's a lot to read, but go ahead.
All right, this is coin debasement. Is the act of decreasing the amount of precious metal in the coin while continuing to circulate it at face value.
Right. So they debase the dollar and circulating it at face value. You look at your dollar, it says $100 on it. But if you go to the market or you go to the shelf, that's where it shows that. That's where they regulate your money at. They're not going to change it in your hand and give you the value. They're going to change it at the shelf. Meaning it's going to take more of those dollars to get something at the shelf. All right? So that's debasing the currency, meaning inflating the dollars, taking $1 and creating many of them. All right, saying it's backed by gold and creating many dollars. Just like in what was that? The Vietnam War, where they right before Nixon took the gold standard away from the dollar. The reason they did it because France or Italy wanted their money back. They wanted their money, they wanted their gold. Because in the midst of the war, they saw that America was buying a shitload of weapons everywhere. They're like, yo, where y'all get all this money from? You got Russia, you got China, you got France, or Italy, whoever it was, we gave y'all a certain amount of gold for your dollar. All right? Now, we gave you that. So you shouldn't have any extra dollars made because it's called hyperinflation. That's called inflation. You're gonna have not enough gold and too many dollars. You know. So you gave us a certificate. We better have a certain amount of gold waiting on us. That's our gold in there. So when we turn in our certificate, we don't want nobody to say ain't no gold because y'all had to sell it to somebody else that had the certificate as well. You know. So that's when they took the gold standard away from the dollar. All right, go ahead, brother.
It says this was frequently done by governments in order to inflate the amount of currency in circulation.
Right. So that's called hyperinflation, man. When they basically keep printing dollars, man. They can't keep printing gold. They can't keep printing silver. The only thing they can do is debase it and leave you with a fake coin, which is made out of whatever that shit is nowadays, aluminum and stuff like that. And they can't debase that. You know what I mean? All right. So they basically taking they debased the dimes.
Oh yeah,
and the nickels. They took all the nickel out of the nickel, and they took all the silver out of the dimes after the 1970s.
Same thing with penny. It used to be copper.
They used to be copper. Before 1965, they was all copper. And you can see them because the copper ones look thick. They thicker and they heavier. All right.
Olympic gold medals and silver and bronze. But the Olympic medals, silver, gold, and bronze, that's not real silver and gold and bronze. It's a whole bunch of other shit.
Right. So, and what did that do? That makes the government rich and leaves everybody else playing with funny money. That's what happened in Rome. And it led them to hyperinflation and almost a civil war and a crash. To where they started overtaxing the people and debasing their currency. And so in this society, they're overtaxing the people with Nixon, and they debased the currency, and they're still debasing it under the current president named Trump. All right? What they call hiking the interest rate, you know, and basically debasing the currency and overtaxing the people. Look at this damn government shutdown, trying to tax the people for a wall. All right, and when the war breaks out, they're going to really take everything away from everybody, man. All right, go ahead.
It says typically some of the precious metal was replaced by a cheaper metal when the coin was minted. Right, so it was replaced by a cheaper metal. All right, so the dollar, it basically just took the gold away from it. You know, go ahead. But when done by an individual, precious metal was physically removed from the coin. Right. All right, go ahead. So they basically took the precious metal and separated it from what you call today currency. All right, they took the money away from and now we're using currency. All right, the liquidity, the fiat. All right, go ahead. Which could then be passed on at the original face value, leaving the debaser with a profit. Leaving the debaser with a profit. Leaving the who? The Illuminati. These guys today leaving these guys with the profit. See, they got all the gold and the silver and the assets and the money. You know, the real money. All right, go ahead. Coin debasement was effected by several methods, including clipping, shaving metal from the coin's circumference. Right, they would take a coin and they would clip the ends of it. And the ends of it, they would take that, melt it down, and make more coins. So that's how they started hyperinflation back then. It was called coin clipping. Or they would drill a hole in it. Let's keep going. It says, and sweating, shaking the coins in a bag and collecting the dust worn off. Right, it's called sweating. They'll take all the coins, because gold actually shaves off over time. If you had gold coins or bronze coins, it would shave off. That was called gold dust. But this right here, they would take the coins, put them in a bag, shake them up, and all the dust from it, they would melt that down and make more coins, so they could fund their war. All right, go ahead. Crazy, right?
Broke shit. God damn.
That's some wicked shit, man.
Yeah, I remember reading something how people the way they used to exchange currency, like real gold and silver, they used to weigh on a balance, right? And you had some people rigging their scale, but when people come buy stuff from them, right? They're noticing they have to put more coinage, more precious metals on this balance than other people did. So like when they went to other places to buy shit, because people were given false scales to get more money out of the people.
Yeah, that's on the regular, yeah. But we talking about hyperinflation right here. You know?
All right.
Right.
It says until the mid-20th century, coins were often made of silver or gold.
Right, because also gold can't be counted, it can only be measured or weighed. Right? Real money.
Which were quite soft and prone to wear. This meant coins naturally got lighter and thus less value.
Right. So so they will lose value anyway over time. Alright, go ahead.
As they aged, so coins that had lost a small amount of bullion would go.
So coins that lost a major amount of gold in it, that's what gold is called, bullion, alright, or treasures or booty. Go ahead.
It said would go unnoticed. Modern coins are made of hard, cheap metals such as steel, copper, or a copper-nickel alloy.
Right, that's the day.
Reducing wear and making it difficult and unprofitable to debase them.
Right, so they can't debase the coins they got today. You know, there's no gold, there's no silver, there's no nickel, there's no copper in it. Right, go ahead.
It says clipping is the act of shaving off a small portion of a precious metal coin for profit.
And that's what America is doing today. And the feds are doing that. All right, shaving off dollars, moving money around, passing off debt, selling debt. You know? What's that, laying themselves in thick place? Go ahead, brother.
Over time, the precious metal clippings could be saved up and melted into bullion or used to make new coins.
That's right, man.
Coin clipping was usually considered by the law to be of a similar magnitude of counterfeiting.
So they basically making counterfeits. They were basically making counterfeits back then. So what's the dollar today? The dollar is a counterfeit currency. It's not real money. It's funny money. You know? All right, go ahead. Oh. Somebody get James 5 as well.
I got it already. I don't think no.
Yeah, go ahead. One more.
All right. And it says, and was occasionally punished by death.
So back then they had something called the maximum of death or something like that. The death maximum. I think it was Diocletian wicked ass that put it in place. You know, or the time of the Republic. Now you had Diocletian. He was so wicked that Edomite, that so-called white man, he went from calling himself Princess or POTUS. He started calling himself God. It says Lord God. That's what it was called. That's what people had to call him. Once he created the eastern and western leg of Rome, and he set up Galerius and Maximinius, he stayed as the Augustus, and basically, like, he called himself the Spirit of Rome. He called himself literally Lord God. If you met him, you had to lay face down. You couldn't look at him. And he said, if he ever thought to even bless you, to crawl over him and touch the hem of his garment. That's what he would say in his statement. So that same devil whom the Lord destroyed, you know, he was a mortal man. He put out a death penalty on people and said, yo, if you ain't dealing with this money clipping, this hyperinflation situation, you're gonna be put to death. If you ain't paying your taxes, you're gonna be put to death. And that's what time we're coming up to. The government gonna offer you an ultimatum. They're gonna say, hey man, if you don't put this microchip in your body, I'm gonna put you to death. And you gotta think about it, what you gonna do in that day? They got a government shutdown right now to where you're not gonna get your income tax. You're not gonna get your food stamps. And that lets you know that we have no power. The only power and chance you have is for the man to turn to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. For the man to get some responsibility about himself. So you can save your family and protect your wife and kids. Alright? The same God that delivered us from Egypt and brought us out of the iron furnace is the same God that's going to deliver us from the hands of the so-called white man, the devil, that set up Babylon to keep us here blinded, brother. Go ahead. Keep going with the precept now. James 5, bro.
Alright, James chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men,
Right.
weep and howl for your misery."
And this the rich man is talking about. This guy right here, he claims to own the world. He owns $7 trillion. All the debt. America's in high debt. What is it, like 17 trillion? It's up 20 trillion?
I thought it passed 20,
Yeah. And if you look at the debt clock, they say that each person owes $250 billion. $250,000. We can't pay that back to these people. We don't have gold and silver. So you know what they're about to do? They're about to do something called martial law. And they're going to take away the dollar. Never thought you'd be born in a society and not use that dollar. The dollar was created in 1920. And it was established in 1971 as the currency. They're about to do away with that this year. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12.
Right.
It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Yep.
Woe unto you." It says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and
Right.
of the sea."
Right, we all dwelling on this earth, so the Lord's saying, woe, because the scriptures say the second woe is past and the third woe cometh quickly. What's that? World War III, right in the Bible. Go ahead.
It says, "For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Right, the devil is the so-called white race, Caucasians. But the elite of their race is going to come down having great wrath because their funny money system is being exposed. We say, how are the things that Esau sought up? It's in Obadiah, I think. I can help you out, you know what I'm saying? You can help. So, alright, so they're going to come down having great wrath. Because you got the BRICS nations on their ass, man. Brazil, Russia, Italy, or Ireland, if I'm not mistaken, and China. They're going against these guys. Yeah, you got it where it say, how are the things that Esau sought up?
This is Obadiah,
Yep.
chapter 1, verse 6.
Yep.
How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Right, so how is hidden things sought up, man? So they're being found out. They're being found out about their debt. They're literally being found out about the funny money. You're going to hear about it these next few weeks. These countries are talking about it. They're calling it the big lie. They've been selling us a lie this whole time. The dollar is a lie. And they're all starting to realize that. And as the futures come out about the market, all these investors are pulling away from the dollar and pulling away from America. All right? So they're coming down having great wrath because their international monetary fund that they built up with America is starting to crumble. And they got to move away from SDRs, and they got to try to find a way to get into XRPs, which is basically blockchain system. Yeah, XRPs. That's basically cryptocurrency on a major scale dealing with nations. It's called XRPs. Finish that one real quick.
Okay.
James 5.
It says, James 5 and 1 says, Go to now, ye rich men,
Yep.
weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Right. So what's misery to a rich man? Seeing the one that they oppress get raised up. That's why the scriptures say the rich man gonna be in the kingdom, begging for a drop of water, for just some type of sense of living. Esau. All right. And what else? It say. Read that part again? I don't lose my point.
All right. It says, Go to now, ye rich men.
Boom. Look, I got you. Weep and howl. So what's another suffering for them? Taking their riches away. All right? While they're alive. What's another one? Stopping their plans, crushing their hope. All right? Putting them in bondage. You know, go ahead.
It says, Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten.
So your riches are corrupted. What's that? The gold and silver, all the wealth upon this world, this earth, that the devil could offer you in this wilderness is all corrupted. You see that? It's all tampered with. It's been what? It's been clipped. You know, it's cankered. And what they built as a currency dealing, well, the dollar or the fiat currency system around the world, the paper dollars. That's all being found out to be flawed. Flawed. Fraud. How about that? Fraud. One more. We gotta keep going.
It says, Your gold and silver is cankered.
Your gold and silver is what? Rusted. All right, like a canker worm, and eating through it. And that's the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to send you a canker worm to eat through your wealth, you know, and bring you down from your heavenly position. Lucifer, Esau. All right. I'm gonna get that fraud part.
All right, this is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 7. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill.
Right, man. That's clear though. You know, Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy riches and thy poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they're Jews, but they're not. That's Esau, you know? So the Lord is going to raise us up. He's going to bring them down.
All right, so James chapter 5, verse 3. It says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
That's right, man. So America can't say they got gold, because you know all these nations, they're going to say, where our gold at then? Where is it at? And it's a witness against them. The debt is a witness against America, man. It shows that America is nothing but a big lie. It's a United States. It's not a country at all. It's a bunch of idiots that have become united. All right? That was by fraud. You already said that, right? Held back by fraud?
No.
Oh, good.
It says, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers which have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crying.
I know. Right. So that's talking about who? The children of Israel. And Revelation 2 and 9, somebody? So that's talking about the children of Israel that are being held back by fraud, man. By lies, by deception, by your funny money system.
I got it.
You know? You got it, right? 2 and 9? All right, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Yeah, he got it.
I know thy works and tribulations and poverty.
So the Lord said what? He knows your work. The Lord said he knows your work. Cameron. The Lord said he knows your work and poverty and tribulation. Talking to the children of Israel. He knows about the time of Jacob's trouble coming, too. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But you're really rich if you're in the spirit, if you're in this truth. And you have wisdom waiting for you. All right? Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
Right. All you got to do is read the Jewish Encyclopedia of the 1970s, and it tells you that the Esau are the fake Jews, the modern Jews. And it's the encyclopedia. It tells you that. The Jewish Encyclopedia. Right. Go ahead.
But are the synagogues of Satan.
So they're the synagogue of Satan, man. The synagogue, the gathering of the children of Satan, man. The adversaries, the challengers, the contenders against the truth, against the spirit. Oh yeah, come on. Go ahead, bro.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 5.
Right, he said the cankered gold and the rust of it is going to be a witness against Esau, America. Go ahead.
It says, yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man.
Right, because they transgress through their subtlety, through their lies, and the spirit of Satan, because they know that they got everybody deceived, and they getting away with it this long, they prideful in that. All right, because Esau has taken us into slavery, you got the white man walking around prideful. Look at Trump. He teach with his fingers, and he stomp with his feet when he speak. But his inward heart is nothing but drawn sword. He's a wicked man. All right, go ahead. We got to hold these people accountable to the laws too. You know, measure them according to the scriptures, and you'll see that they're wicked men. Even these heathens. Yep, come good.
It says, neither keep up at home who enlarge of his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied.
Right. So you know that's talking about their demonocracy. All right, going around the world, putting military bases all over the damn world. All right, pushing their false religion. All right, everything they do, everywhere Esau, the so-called white man, is, there's sin and there's physical death.